Okay, let's break down your team. Let's go over the forwards. You did mention Tanya Taylor, and now you've talked about Lex Koff. Are there any other players, Natalie Ledesma? What do those two players bring to the program?
She works incredibly hard. She's one of the most explosive players that you're going to see. She's really working on her finishing and her ability to connect the game. But she loves to expose teams in behind. But she's getting better at playing both sides of her back four. Natalia brings an inventiveness and a creativity and just a passion to play the game and compete. She'll get goals, I think, this year, but she'll help other players score goals too. Alexis Rafael, returning senior, very powerful player, very unpredictable, good in the air. She's very difficult to deal with. We've got Jazz Nickelberry, who's a freshman from the Mustang Club. Again, a great athlete. And I think we're going to see some good things out of her once she gets up to the pace of the game and is able to play a little quicker, particularly inside the 18-yard box. Laura McGrail is another freshman coming in that had a slow start. She's not quite fully healthy, but once she gets healthy, she's going to be a real handful for some people. We've played a couple of other players like Maddie Solo, a transfer from Florida, Canadian national team player, who's also seen some time as a forward. So we've got a lot more options this year, I think, and different teams are going to present different problems, and we're going to use all those players in different combinations to find solutions.
Who's the boss in the midfield?
Let me think about that for a while. Judy Christopher, maybe. She's just outstanding. She's one of the best defensive centre midfield players that I've seen, and we've played some of the best teams in the country now. I haven't seen one that's better. There's still a few teams for us to get a look at, but in terms of a central midfield player that can play as a holding central midfield player, dominate physically, shut down opponents, and she did that this weekend against some very talented players. She shuts them down, and she's getting better and better every game she plays on the other side of the ball with the ball at her feet. She's getting more technical. She's range of passing is getting better, but she dominates the midfield. A very, very difficult competitor to play against.
Who are your playmakers? Who's dishing the ball out to the forwards? Who's that person that can see the entire field and know what to do with the ball?
We've got a lot of players that are vying for that role in the midfield. Ma Rodriguez did a great job for us last year. She's not with us right now. She's at the World University Games. Judy's doing a better job of that. And then Dana Sandlin has been incredible for us this pre-season. Delva De La Rosa is going to come into the team and do a lot more distributing and connecting with our forwards. Maddie Solo, we mentioned from Florida, she's going to help us break down the middle third to the final third. And a player like Natalia Ledesma, she'll play in our midfield as well at times. She naturally does that, dropping off the line. So, as well as a number of freshmen, Cami Privet, Jenna Pellegrino, they're all going to step into our midfield and help us. And then we have returning junior Jackie Samis, who she's up against Judy Christopher in terms of getting the starting spot. She's done an incredible job of stepping in different positions that are not her best position and contributing to the team. And at any time we can look to any of those players to come in and play at the Division 1 level and help us.
The backfield, your defenders, you gotta feel so good about having an All-American in Coco Goodson back there.
Yeah, she's incredible. She was good for us last year. She got better through the spring, and coming in this year, she's as fit as I've ever seen her. She's leaner and meaner. She's quicker. She's worked very, very hard on her fitness, and her maturity is on a different level as well. So we're really excited to have her back. But alongside her, we have a returner, Sarah Devine, who's been overshadowed by Coco a lot. Coco gets a lot of goals, but Sarah, alongside her in the back line, I think Sarah's going to be a hugely important piece for us. Between the two of them, their understanding is at a point where they're going to be very effective together.
Now, having those two returners on your back line, how much more vital is it when you're starting a freshman in goal?
Yeah, it's huge because as a freshman in goal, we want her to focus on what she's doing. We don't want her to think too much about the tactical shape of the team and much of that organisation. So we expect that from our centre backs now. So they can take a lot of the load off of her in terms of organising the team, and that's going to be hugely important. But Sarah and Coco have played a lot of big games. They know how to win big games. They know how to stay composed. They know what it means to speed the game up, how to slow the game down, and how to change the rhythm and tempo of the game. So no, their experience is going to be huge for us.
And moving on to your goalkeeper, you started a freshman Jennifer Randazzo, in goal. What did you see from her in the fall that prompted you to give her that spot?
Well, we got there's a lot of people that know about our program now up and down the state, and we got a couple phone calls from some coaches that work with her very closely, and we got some great recommendations. So we took the time to go watch her play. She came to one of our camps. We got a really good look at her at one of the camps. I spent a lot of time watching her there, and you know, she does everything right. You know, she's not going to be the biggest goalkeeper, and if you watch her for 5 minutes, you would assume that there's some things she can't do, but she can do everything. And she's got the mentality for it. She's very composed. She never looks rattled, and again, she's that kind of composure for a freshman is great. So you know, we have every confidence, and it showed when we put her in against big opponents like this past weekend.
For a younger soccer player who's dreaming of playing Division I college soccer one day, what is the key element you're looking for in your goalkeeper? If you could point to one element, what would that be?
It's being able to play under pressure. There's a lot of goalkeepers out there that train a lot with private trainers and go through a lot of technical drills, and technically they're very, very good. But they've got to play games in competitive situations. That's where you get your composure. That's where you start to understand how to perform under that kind of pressure. And in fact, you learn to perform without pressure. That's the big difference. And Jen can play under pressure. She plays as if there is no pressure. You know, we were wondering whether she even realised how big the game was on Sunday. She was so composed. But some of the best players, some of the best goalkeepers, technically can't do it under pressure. And Danielle DeSerio was another great example of that. She was a gamer, and that's what we look for in our goalkeepers.